Corey Lewandowski is with us, formerly with President Trump. I'm wondering, Corey, so often American elections do not turn on foreign policy. It's just not something, especially as the economic message is something that's so meaningful right now. I'm wondering if these images and the story of what is happening to Israel by Iranian-backed terror groups does not change that calculus a little bit, at least temporarily.
Well, Leland, it may. But look, Washington, D.C. is completely dysfunctional right now. We don't have a Speaker of the House. And I think what we see with the world events, the attack, the unprovoked attack, the senseless killing of innocent women and children in Israel shows us that our petty politics in Washington need to be put aside. We need to come together and elect a speaker, not on Wednesday, but let's move the speakership to Monday, and let's show Israel, our greatest ally in the world, the support that the United States is going to give them monetarily and with anything else that they need from us. It is shocking to me that we did not have better intelligence to share with Israel that this attack was coming. I've spent a lot of time in Israel. I've worked for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I know the capabilities of the IDF. I know what is coming next. And I can assure you, the Israeli people are going to support the counter-assault, which is going to come with the fire and fury that the world has potentially never seen. But it is on us here, Leland, in the United States, to come together and put aside these partisan politics and make sure that Israel, our greatest friend in the Middle East, has all the resources it needs to protect herself once again.
To be fair, President Biden promised that today. Now, we can quibble, and I know President Trump has taken issue with his deal with Iran and that side of it, something we covered earlier in the show. But President Biden basically promised the Israelis whatever they wanted. Now, it's going to take a few days. It always does to get that kind of stuff ramped up. We're watching video of the Palestinians as they came through the checkpoints. I've actually been through that checkpoint, the Erez crossing, in Gaza into Israel. The thought that the Palestinians now controlled that for a while is really unthinkable. And look, as much as you say it may have been an American intelligence failure, there was an enormous failure by the Israelis as well, not only to see this coming, but to plan for the possibility. Israelis I talked to said they didn't even think there was a possibility of it coming, and then it happened, much like 1973. They didn't think Egypt would ever invade. I'm interested in what you make, Corey, though, of sort of this instant rush here in the United States. And Israel has not done this. Israel has come together, rallied around Netanyahu and the army and the government and everything else as happens when there is an attack. Israel rallied around their leader and put politics aside, at least right now, to begin this counteroffensive. And then the United States goes right to partisan political fights, be it from Donald Trump or from other Republican candidates.
Leland, I don't think most people in the United States can truly appreciate what has taken place in Israel. If you've never been there, and I was there, and I spent an enormous amount of time there over the last decade, to understand the divide between the Israelis and the terrorists that are right over the border, it's truly difficult. And your station's done a great job of pointing out the size of Israel, about the size of New Jersey, how this war that is now underway is really between New York City and Trenton, something that most people here in this country can't fathom. What we do understand is when our friends are attacked around the world, it is a direct attack on us. And I am asking for the Republicans to come back to Congress, elect their Speaker of the House, make sure we can give the support that we need. When we are attacked in Israel, when Israel is attacked, it is an attack on the United States. And when 9/11 occurred here, they came to our defense.
It's often called, I got to run, it's often called the 51st state. Unfortunately, we got to get out. I'd love to talk to you more about this, but just by parity of population, this is the equivalent death toll in the United States of 3 9/11s. And that's just what we know about inside of Israel as the sun comes up less than 24 hours after the Hamas invasion began. Corey Lewandowski with us. Corey, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.